Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Fiona Waddell, and I'm here with Shannon Gorton today with episode 5 of Wise Women Podcasting. We are going to be talking about what are oracle cards and how to choose a deck. So if you're new to this and joining us for the first time, we are here providing these short, quick little podcasts to help light workers, empaths, starseeds, and we want to be a part of a like-minded community who are change makers. So let's dive into who we are and then get right into it. So let's meet Miss Shannon Gorton.
Thanks, Fiona. Hi, everyone. My name is Shannon Gorton. I'm an intuitive mindset energy mentor, and I've teamed up with the amazing, brilliant Fiona Waddell. And Fiona, brief intro.
Intro time. So my name is Fiona. I'm a money flow coach and a psychic healing intuitive, and I work with people, particularly healers and coaches, to help them activate their money flow. And yeah, that's a little bit about me. So today we chose Oracle cards because we both love working with cards. We love it. And we had some fun trying to prepare for this call because there are so many questions. So I feel like there's going to be a part 1 and a part 2. So for part 1, we're going to focus on what are Oracle cards. So I'm going to hand it over to Shannon, and then I will be jumping in with my tidbits. So Shannon, what are Oracle cards?
Well, oracle cards are inspirational, and oracle cards, similar to tarot cards. I grabbed a random deck. The ones that I don't use all the time, I leave in a box. And I just happened to grab The Spirit Animal Oracle by Colette Baron Reid. So oracle cards are a deck of cards. They vary in number. They are created by different people. Kyle Gray does oracle cards and tarot cards. Um, Bradley Valentine oracle cards. Louise Hay does affirmation cards. Excuse me. We've got Rebecca Campbell oracle cards. So oracle cards can be used for many different purposes and reasons. Um, so you can use them for many different purposes, like journaling, for clarity, to receive, an uplifting message. Excuse me, to tune in a little bit to your energy or the energy of something that's going on for you in your life. I like to use my oracle cards in a variety of ways. So the oracle cards are what you make of them, and there is an energy about using the oracle cards which may or may not resonate with you. So, well, do you have anything to add, Fiona, about like what are
Yeah.
the oracle cards? Because I'm like,
Like
there's so
Shannon could
many
talk all
things that
day.
I could talk about the oracle cards. They're
So
amazing.
you nailed it on the head right there. Oracle cards are not tarot cards. Tarot cards
Hmm.
come with a set type of reading and symbolism with the numbers, and there's a way to read tarot cards. There are ways to interpret cards with the tarot cards. But when it comes to oracle cards, they are words of inspiration, affirmations, and oracle cards are literally oracle. Oracle is to see the future, to be inspired, and to look forward and move yourself forward, correct?
Correct.
So, oracle cards are just that, to move you forward in a positive, uplifting way. So, you can find them with different number, like you have the standard number of cards in tarot, but with oracle cards, you can have 44 cards, 100 cards, 50 cards in a deck. And they can range in a variety of topics like star seeds, waterfalls, bumblebees, um, business, children, co-parenting. Like you can a variety of topics because it's about moving people forward. And so that's what an oracle card is. It's supposed to help you with inspiration, guidance, or connection. I don't I have a shelf full of oracle cards and tarot cards, So I didn't pull one over, ironically, but you can get almost any kind of oracle deck. Now, both Shannon and I, if you're wondering like the different people we're rhyming off, you can find them on the Hay House website, and through your own research as
Right.
well. If you just Google oracle cards, but I know I purchased from Hay House. Um, so Hay, Hay House. Look it up. You can find a huge variety of oracle cards there by amazing creators. So that's what an oracle card is.
Mhm.
Is there anything else you want to add to that?
No, that rounds it out nicely.
Hmm. There is something I want to add. Oracle cards can be non-denominational. I
Mm,
want to
mhm,
stress that.
mhm.
There
Yeah.
isn't a particular faith or belief system. You can get ones that are particular to a type of belief system, um, but they can be non-denominational. So if I know, take a step back, those that might think, oh, there's evil stuff. No, if you read a book, like a self-help book to move you forward, oracle cards are the same energy and vibration of moving you forward. So they don't have to follow a particular faith or idea system. Does
That's
that make
accurate.
sense?
That's perfect because I did forget that because there are um different types of oracle cards. They're, like faith-based and um
Non or
and
non,
not
yeah.
right.
Yeah, it's open to everyone to participate in moving yourself forward.
That's the thing. Like, what are oracle cards? Well, I for me, they are something that I choose that I am either attracted to energetically or visually. Um, like really it's about the energy for me. I'm always about the feels. So being drawn to an oracle deck, um,
Well, that takes us into how do you choose a deck? Dun, dun,
right.
dun. Look at you, Miss Smoothie. Yes, right into that. Next question, how do you choose a deck?
Um, okay, so first off, I like to shop because I like a good bargain. And there are a lot, okay,
I like
I like to
shopping.
shop because I like to shop. I do love to shop. But I'm also like um aware of the energy exchange. So there is nothing wrong with looking for a bargain. Like there are times that you can get Hay House decks for $5 a deck, for seven
Oh
dollars a
yeah,
deck,
sales.
$9 a deck.
Yes.
It's like there sometimes it can be a misconceived notion that they're expensive, that they're not attainable to the everyday person. You have to have, a certain type of certification. That's no, anybody can have an oracle deck. Um, any walk of life, whoever chooses,
Hmm.
like a book, but in the form of cards. Because most of
Yeah.
the decks also include a guidebook. There's also Amazon.com. There's Llewellyn. For more on the metaphysical end of it. Amazon doesn't usually have sales on their decks. Like they're usually priced at pretty bargain price, but it's going to be whatever it's retailed on the back of the cards or on the box of the cards. Um, but the bigger publishing houses like Hay House and Llewellyn, and sometimes even the website of the deck creator will have specials at certain times of the year if they want to promote a certain deck. Excuse me, I'm sorry. So, like I said, it's about the energy for me, about how I choose a deck. And um, I will look and see the images. I'll Google the deck and look and see if those images resonate with me. Like there was a deck that I thought, oh, this is a great deck. I want to get this deck. And so I chose that deck, and unfortunately, that's it didn't work out for me. But
Yeah.
that's for another episode. But how I choose them overall is about the feel of it, recommendation from a friend or colleague, um, an announcement from the creator or the author of the deck, um, the look and the feel of it is pretty much how I go by. How do you tend to choose your oracle decks?
Well, it's very similar. In the beginning, it was recommendations for
Mhm.
me, because I was learning how to use my intuition. So I would see what other people were using in my circle. It led to some poor purchases because and I'll get to that in a second. But it also led to some absolute gems that I purchased. And then from there, the next step in my journey was to start picking up on signs, like if I was doing more animal work or more angel work, or for example, this is a tarot deck, but I started looking at star seed, and so I ended up with Rebecca Campbell, one of her decks, oracle decks, and then I ended up with the tarot deck. Um, so it was all because I was starting to get into star seeds, and reading that, and just starting to lean into what your interests are and what you're being called to. Also, getting readers, getting a reading done by a professional and seeing what cards they use can inspire you as well too. So I did that as well too. I go on a reading circuit, so I read with other psychics and I see the decks that they have. So I think that's really important. And I've recommended decks to people when I've done a reading based on their interests, and I say, go look at it. Um,
Fascinating. I like that idea of going and looking and seeing what other readers are using for
and
their
see what
for their
resonates. Because typically good readers will use a deck that resonates with your energy.
Mhm.
So that might be a good deck for you to use. So I've developed that skill, and then reading the energy of the cards. I think that's really big because, like, if you Google angel oracle cards, you will see about like 100 different types of decks. So then it's just leaning into the imagery and cost, and is there a particular angel or do you want all angels, for example? Um, so leaning into that intuition. So in the beginning, it can be pretty like it's like buying your first pair of running shoes or something like that. You'll get something on recommendation, and then you'll start going, yeah, that wasn't such a good choice. I have gifted decks to people that didn't resonate with me that have resonated with other people. Um, I have several decks that I need to gift, but so you receive decks as well from other people. Once you can literally manifest your oracle decks too. Um, that's another way to choose a deck. It will land in front of you because obviously there's a message, and then go from there. So yeah, choosing a deck is there's no perfect way to choose a deck.
Right.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
That's very accurate. It really isn't a perfect way to choose it. It's just really it's about the energy and what serves you now could serve you now and maybe not in a year or 6 months. And um and it's always okay to pay it forward and give a gift of a deck. um I was just giggling because I had given a deck to somebody that I thought would really enjoy it, and they were like, "Oh, this is not really for me, but I know somebody who would love to have this. Would you be offended if I passed it forward?" I was like, "Absolutely. This is how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to
Yeah.
find, you know, that copacetic home. That
That person, that
yeah,
soul.
I
Yeah.
know, right?
So they're going to manifest themselves a deck, and they don't even know it's passed through all these people. So yeah, the gift that keeps on giving. So yeah, I think that's a huge part, especially with oracle decks and with anything in this area, is that there are no set rules. Like there's nobody looking over your shoulder. Like when I go to psychic fairs and I'm doing readings, some people will say, "This is how you must do it." And I'm sitting there going, "I have never done that, and I'm perfectly fine." I'm doing the polar opposite, and I'm still getting results. So it's that there are some basic energetic, healthy boundaries that we will talk about in another podcast. But in choosing your deck and using oracle cards, that there is no like you must if somebody tells you you must do something, take a break, Take a
Don't lean
step
in.
back.
Don't
Yeah,
lean in.
lean
Lean
back.
back.
I'm even physically leaning back.
I know, lean back.
It's not worth it. Any kind of when you hear must, you're heading into dogma territory, and when there's dogma, there's judgment. And so, oracle cards were divining and divination was never designed to be you must do things,
That's
right?
it. There's no perfect way. There is no um, workbook.
Yeah,
That's close. There's no like workbook to follow. It's free will, excuse me, and your spirituality resonates with your energy, and that's what guides you, your intuition. So yeah, listen to your intuition, lean in when you feel like you should lean in, and lean back when it doesn't resonate with you because there's a reason why it's not resonating with you.
yeah. And we'll talk about that in the next one where we talk about reading, how to read oracle cards, because it's the whole thing. Like you will see there are schools of thought on how to do things. It's all about what you pick up. You might get a message about something and it's like maybe one third resonates with you. Well, then you embrace that one third, that two thirds. You don't have like nobody is going to wrap your knuckles if you don't take the whole. It's like choosing a deck. You buy 3 decks and one is like a gem. Like I can talk about 3 decks that I use for my shows, and one is a backup. It's like it's something I don't usually use, but the other 2 I'm always using. So you will find your own systems. Like what works for me may not work for you, but you may be able to take some golden nuggets to help you with your journey.
Right.
But
And
yeah,
this is just how we do it as ourselves, right? And it's just a guide to kind of like open the door for you to explore your own path of what oracle cards are for you, and um, how you choose an oracle deck may or may not resonate. You may pick up a book or a magazine or a flyer, one of those mailers, and be like, "Oh, Llewellyn's having a great sale, but I got this catalog of 80 pages worth of, cards, and this section's for oracle cards. How do I choose?" You could close your eyes and flip the pages and pick one. You could do it that way. Um,
yeah,
it's just really randomly what aligns with your energy, what catches your eye, what you're leaning into, what you're drawn to.
yeah. So oracle cards, you can tell, is something that we both love, and uh, I know for me, back in my spiritual journey, really starting back in 2013, I started using crystals, but I started really getting into cards in 2015. And it was, I used a combination of Oracle and Tarot, but for the sake of us talking about Oracle, it was a big shifter for me. So if you haven't started working with Oracle cards yet, and you're stepping into this community and this like-mindedness that we're in, then try exploring oracle cards.
Mhm. I
Something to lean
agree.
into.
Mhm.
I'm feeling complete. Is there anything else you want to add, Shannon?
Um, it's a topic of mine that I could literally go on for a long time. Excuse me. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit tickled. Um, I just wanted to say that I thank everyone for coming out today and watching it, our video, our podcast, and I'd love to hear. We would love to hear um, insights that you have received. Any questions that you have, please, let us know. We'd love to have you subscribe to our Wise Women podcasting and follow us on Facebook and all the things. We're here to lend a hand and answer questions and, meet like-minded folks on their journey as well. And we hope that we've inspired you to take action on your journey.
Yeah. Awesome. Take care, everyone.
Bye.